Knots and crosses. Let's make a pot holder with the potholder loom. This is an 18 peg loom, and we're going to make the knots and crosses pot holder using only 17 of the pegs. It makes squares on one side and crosses on the other side. This easy loom weaving pattern is reversible. Of course, it's different on each side, and it works up quickly. The pattern contains written instructions and links to this weaving chart and our video tutorials for right and left-handed weavers. Now you can find this detailed chart at Piglet's Potholder Patterns with Knots and Crosses, the 17 peg version, and that is shared with permission under Creative Commons. Let's gather supplies and we will begin. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. For the pattern and the supplies and links to the right and left-handed video tutorial, those are conveniently down in the video description in the links below, so check that out as well as more information. Let's dive right in. You're going to be using an 18 peg loom. We're only using 17 of the pegs across for the warp and 17 pegs down for the weave. And you're going to need loops. We're doing only 34 cotton loops because we're not using all pegs. We're going to use color A, and we've got 18 loops. I'm using yellow. And then we have color B, which is 16 loops. So once you have all your materials, we'll dive into the pattern. Let's go. We're going to place 17 loops vertically from top to bottom in the following order, and do not use peg 18, okay? So we're going to start with peg 1, and we're going to alternate colors A and B. So A is on the odd pegs. Let's place it on our number 1 peg here. And so you can go ahead and place it on all the odd pegs. So I'm going to put 9 of them across. All right, now that we have color A on there, we're going to put on only 8 loops of color B. So on all the even pegs except for the 18th peg, we'll place color B. All right, once you have your warp done, let's start the weave. For the weave, we're going to begin row 1 with color A. We're going to weave over 2, under 1. So over these first 2 and under 1. Go ahead and place it on that first peg. And once I do one, I usually place with my finger when I start reading the next direction. Now we're going to weave over 1, under 1 7 times. So over 1, under 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and place it at the very top. And we're ready for row 2. We're going to grab B, and we're going to weave under 1, over 2. So under this first one, place that, and over 2, and I'm going to mark it with my finger. And then we're going to weave under 1, over 1 6 times. So under 1, over, okay, done that once. Under 1, over 2, under 1, over 3, under 1, over 1 4, under 1, over 1 5, under 1, over 1 6. Okay. And then we're going to weave under 2. And then place that. All right, next one, we're going to go row 3 with A, weave over 1, under 1, over 2. So over 1, under 1, and then over 2. And I'm going to mark it. Now we're going to weave under 1, over 1 5 times. So under 1, over 1, that's 1 time, under, over, oops, 2, under over 3, under over 4, under over 5, and then under 2 over 1, under 2 and over 1 in place. Okay, row 4 with B, we're going to weave under 1 over 1, so under 1 over 1, and then under 1 over 2, so under 1 over 2, and now we're going to weave under 1 over 1 4 times, so under 1 over 1, that's 1, under 1 over 1 2, under 1 over 1 3, under 1 over 1 4, and then weave under 2 over 1 and under 1. I like to go ahead and push these up after I've done a few rows. You can start to see how it's boxing in for those nested squares. And row 5, we're going to pick up A, and with A we're going to weave over 1 under 1 2 times, so over 1 under 1, over 1 under 1, that's that second time. Weave over 2, 1 2, and then weave under 1 over 1 3 times, under 1 over 1 once, and twice, and then 3 times, marking my spot. Weave under 2 over 1, under 1, and over the very last one. Oh, I got it twisted, so make sure I don't twist those up. There we go. Row 6 with B, we're going to weave under 1 over 1 2 times. So under 1 over 1 once, under 1 over 1 twice. Weave under 1 over 2, so under 1 over 2. Weave under 1 over 1 2 times, so under 1 over 1 once, under 1 over 1 the second time, and weave under 2, and weave over 1 under 1 2 times, so over under once, over under the second time. Here we go. Now row 7 with A, and pause your video as you need. Row 7 with A, we're going to weave over 1 under 1 3 times. So over under once, over under twice, over under a third time. Weave over 2 and under 1 and over 1 and then under 2. So this one's a little different. Okay. And then we're going to weave over 1 under 1 2 times, over under once, over under twice, and then over 1. And that'll complete row 7. And we're going to get row, whoops, I'm going to push this up, get this a little tighter in here. There we go. Now row 8, we're going to grab B. And with B, we're going to go under, weave under 1 over 1 3 times. So under, over once, twice, 3 times. Mark that after the over. Weave under 1, over 2, and then under 2. So that was a little different too. And now we're going to weave over 1, under 1 3 times to the end of the row. So over 1, under 1 once, twice, and a third time, and then place it. There we go. And now row 9, with A, we're going to weave over 1, under 1, 8 times. So over 1, under 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that should end weaving over the last one. There we go. We are halfway through. Look at that. Now you're going to start, looks like it's mirroring that. All right, with B, we're going to weave under 1, over 1, 3 times. So under 1, this is row 10, under 1, over 1, under 1 is the 3rd time, and over, and mark that, and weave under 2, over 2, so under 2, over 2, and then under 1, and now complete our repeat, which is going to be weave over 1, under 1, 3 times. So over, under once, over, under twice, and over, under a 3rd time. There we go. And with A, we're going to weave over 1, under 1, 2 times. So over 1, under once and twice. Weave over 1, under 2, so over 1, under 2, and then over 1 and under 1, and then over 2. This one's a lot different. All right, and then we're going to weave under, over 3 times. So under, over, that's once, under, over twice, under, over the 3rd time. There we go. And we finished out our middle square. Now we're going to get B and do row 12. We're going to weave under 1, over 1, 2 times. So under, over once and twice. Weave under 2, and weave over, under 2 times. So over, under once and twice, and weave over 2. So I'm just going to mark that. Weave over, under 2 times. I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? Weave under, over 2 times. Under, over once and twice, and then weave under 1. There we go. Completed that next purple square here. With A, for 13, we're going to weave over 1, under 1, over 1. So over, under, over, and then under 2. And weave over 1, under 1, 3 times. So over, under once, twice, and then the 3rd time, and then weave over 2, and then under, over 2 times. So under once, over, under once, or the 2nd time, and then over. There we go. Ready for our next purple one to complete. So we're going to move on row 14 with B and weave under, over. So under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1, and then under 2, there we go. Weave over 1, under 1, 4 times. So over 1, under 4 times. So we're going to lift this one up, and I can start just using my fingers to pull it off there. So under that one, that's 1 time, 2, 3, 4. It ends with it going under, and then we're going to weave over 2. So just mark that, and then under 1, over 1, under 1. That last one. There we go. Okay, there we go. We only have one more purple square to close, and then this outer yellow, if I have that right. Yeah. So we got a yellow and another purple. Okay, so we're with our yellow. This is row 15. This is with A. We're going to weave over 1, under 2. So over 1 and under these 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my crochet hook and pull that through. Or you can use your weaving tool, whatever is easier for you. Okay, and we're going to weave over 1, under 1 5 times. So over 1, under 1 5 times. I'm going to pick up the next couple that I have to go under with my crochet hook and lay this over and replace these. Hopefully you can see that. So I've done 2 of them. Now I need to do it 3 more times because it's a total of 5. And when I get across here, you can even lay it on one of these pegs across to hold it for you. Okay, I've done 4, and now I need to do that last one. Okay. And then now we're going to weave over 2, these 2, and then under 1, over 1. So I just need to pick this second from last one up to go under. And we're finished with that row. Now we're going to work the next to last row, but I'm going to go ahead and pull my stitches down a little bit and make a little bit more room. You may want to do that. Pause your video as needed. All right, we're ready for row 16, and with B, which is my purple one, we're going to weave under 2 first off. So lift these first 2 up. And place our loop. Put these back down. All right, you move that up the screen, sorry. Okay, and now we're going to weave over 1, under 1 6 times. So over, under, so I'm going to go under all the ones of the same color here. We're doing that 6 times. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. These are the first 2. And then pick up the next set of 2 to go under. And then the next 2. Okay. And it finished with the under, and we're going to go over 2, under 1. So over these 2 and under the last one. Okay, there we are. And now we have 1 row left. So with A, for row 17, we're going to weave under 1, over 1 7 times. So under the first one and the third peg. Just going to do these in sets of 2 again, like I did at last row. And even though we're only doing 18 pegs, you could just, or 17 pegs, you can just put it on this very last one if it's easier. Okay, so under, over, and then pick up these next 2. So I've done a set of 2. This is the 3rd and the 4th repeat. Pick these up. We're going to do the 5th and the 6th repeat. And we need one more. Okay, and it ends in an over, so we're going over this one here, and then we're going to go under 1 over 2. So we're just going to go under this 3rd from the end, and that's really the last stitch to do. Perfect. And now you are ready to bind off. So it looks like a bunch of squares here and crosses here. Now you might say, that's not a cross, Kristen. Okay, there's the Latin cross, and those are an even type of cross. It's not an uneven where there's like, you know, a longer amount at the bottom. It's just equal. So mine may look not as even to you, but that I promise once it comes off, it's going to be symmetrical. All right, so that's what that looks like. And we'll begin by binding this off. You're just simply going to take one loop off at the end here, and then go to the next. So I went from one quarter into the next, pick the next loop up, lift up and over to bind off that loop, go to the next one, lift that up and over, go to the next one, and continue along until you have no loops left. So pause your video and I'll meet you for the end. See you there. All right, I took off the last 2 loops. I got so excited and it popped off. So this is what it looks like. 2 loops left. We're just going to loop that on through. And then I like to go through the loop that I started with and go through that again. All right, and then now we're just going to take it to the back. And you see when I did that, it made that purple loop kind of creep over to the side. So it's going to look a little bit more even going around. And I just kind of go to the back and I like to come out of it, go through one of these loops that matches it, and then pull it through. Here we go. And then pull a little bit tighter here, and then go behind the other loops and do it again. And just really get it in there. Okay. All right, that's it. So you can see our knots, N-O-U-G-H-T, and crosses. Isn't that nice? I love this design. It's a 17 peg, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like an 18. It's, you know, about 5 or 5.5 inches, and has a fun reversible design. I hope you enjoy yours. Be sure and comment below and tell me which has been your favorite design so far. Be sure and check out all the patterns on GoodKnitKisses.com. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.